hello. So, you know, you don't have to always go out to have that romantic vibe. Sometimes you can create it at home on date nights. You know, date nights are really popular now. Everybody going on date night. Well, how about a house date? Date at home. Cook at home. Have a great meal. Have a healthy meal. Have a meal that's going to generate some conversations. So what we have here is sockeye wild caught salmon. We have a nice fillet. I don't like the thick pieces. I like kind of the thin pieces. It has been washed. Of course, when you wash it, you need to make sure that you've had it dry. You don't want all that water. You want it firm as possible. Sometimes it's best if you buy it, just kind of take it out of the wrappings or whatever and sit it in a container and put a little bit of sea salt on it and let it sit there for like a day. Or you can let it marinate during the day and take it out at night. It's going to pull some of the moisture out of it, which is what you want, so that it can be flaky and tender. So we have our salmon. I like to leave my skin on. I like that crispiness because it gives it some juiciness when you cook it. So we're going to start here with a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Then we're going to, of course, go back to our coarse, fresh ground black pepper, which is here. We want to put a little bit of that. Be generous with that because you want that seasoning. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of my seafood seasoning here. I want that flavor. And when I put that on there, I'm going to kind of just massage my salmon because I want that to kind of get in the flesh of the salmon and just let it do its own thing. So now that this is ready, we're not going to season the skin of it. We're going to put it on our grill again. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want. You want that sizzle. I'm going to wash my hands again. Very good and generous. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, we want to go ahead and get these started. We're going to use something that we are all familiar with. I know sometimes even I'll go back to my mom and dad. They'll say, I don't know about using that thing, but I love the air fryer. It's a new piece of technology. Use it, try it, make good use of it. You can do a lot of things with it. So we have some potatoes that have been baked pretty much. Now we're going to roast them a little bit. I put some olive oil on them. I'm going to add, again, some of my fresh cracked pepper. I'm going to go in with a little bit of my seasoning. And the last thing that I am going to add to this, I can't see it, here it is right here, is my oregano. Because we want these to kind of be a little earthy and herby. And believe it or not, I'm going to use a little bit of my poultry seasoning, because guess what? Your poultry seasoning has sage in it. It has thyme in it, all those things. And we're going to give that a really good mix. Really, really good mix here. And we're going to pull this air fryer out. We're going to drop it in there. Make sure that it's coated really well with the oil. And sometimes I just add a little bit more oil because I want these potatoes to crisp up really good. That's what we want. We're going to drop it in there and we're going to set the timer to about 390. The temp is going to be about 390. And we're going to roast these for about 7 minutes. They're going to come out really crispy, nice, and tender. That's what we want. Okay, so we're done with this cutting board. We're going to move this out of the way just a little bit because we're going to have to wash this because we don't want any cross contaminations because we've had what? Salmon on that. And make sure that with your towels that you have multiple towels and paper towels. I'm using fresh towels every time I start with another meal. Okay? So you just want to make sure, again, that you are cleaning as you are cooking. It's important. It is important. The next thing that we have here, and we're just kind of gonna turn our heat up on our pan. We have fresh broccoli crowns, okay? Now I'm gonna pull the water out of this broccoli again, as I do with all of my vegetables. Pulling this water out, it's gonna stop spinning. And what we're gonna do here is add a little bit of olive oil again here. I'm gonna lift that up off the heat because we're gonna kind of saute this broccoli. There we go. So, get some more of this water out. It wants to dance for whatever reason it is, not sure. I'll put that there. And what we're gonna do with this broccoli, we're not gonna season it right off. What we're gonna do is make sure we're gonna tear these into smaller pieces so that it can cook evenly. That's what we're gonna do here. You wanna make sure that you keep an eye on your salmon because you don't want to overcook your salmon. Just as you go to the restaurant, you need to ask yourself, do you want your salmon to be medium rare? Do you want it to be well done? Do you want it to be medium? That's important. I like my salmon to be a little medium because, of course, when anything that you take off of heat, it's still going to generate heat and it's still going to cook. So our broccoli is nice and clean, and what we're going to do is drop our broccoli in this oil, and we're going to saute it. We're going to let it saute first, and then once it gets going, we're going to add our seasoning. We're going to put the lid on this. This is a vegetable, broccoli, of course, we know that. So all vegetables grow from the good of the land, and they have a good supply of what? Water. So don't start adding water at the beginning because you don't want mushy broccoli. We're going to let this kind of cook down a little bit, let it do its thing, and then we will add our seasoning. We're going to go over here and check on our salmon. Cooking pretty good. So we're going to flip this baby over just like that, because we want that side to cook. Look at that skin. That skin is nice and crispy. That's what you want. Crispy skin on that salmon. So we're going to let that go for about, I'm going to say about another 4 to 5 minutes. We're going to let this broccoli cook. Our potatoes are crisping up really, really good. There's going to go about 4 more minutes. Our broccoli, this is what we want. A little char on them. So at this point, we're going to add our seasonings. So I didn't add it. I added a little bit of oil to the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning to that. Just a tad bit. I'm going to add a little bit of our cracked black pepper. Just a tad bit. This is a little bit of sesame oil. That's going to give it another flavor, another layer of flavor. And we're going to turn the heat off of this, and we just want this to sit here and rest because we don't want mushy broccoli. We want good broccoli, okay? So we're going to leave that there. We're going to check on our salmon because we don't want to overcook our salmon. It's nice and firm, which is what we want. So we're going to leave that there, and we're going to do one last flip with that salmon. There we go. That's just what we want. A nice char It's looking good. The seasonings have cooked into it. It's going to be very flavorful. Very flavorful. So, we're going to get ourselves ready to start plating. Let's see. So, we can do any type of vegetables the way we've done this broccoli. You can do cauliflower, you can do green beans, you can do squash, zucchini, you can add green onions, you can do any type of green vegetable the way that we've done this vegetable. The most important thing about vegetables, do not overcook them. Nobody wants mushy vegetables. Make sure that they're al dente, because when they're al dente, they still have that firmness and that bounce to them. And you can cook them from there the way you want them, but don't overcook them. Always undercook, because remember, any food that you put on heat is going to retain some heat all the time. So our potatoes are still doing good. We've turned that off. So we're going to get our salmon here. It is ready. We're going to turn that off. And we're going to put our salmon here on our cutting board, which is a perfect spot for it for now. We're going to bring it back over here. And our broccoli. Perfect. This is what we want. It's a little charred, which is what we want. Add some flavor to it. So we're just going to place that here. And then we have our potatoes. Perfect. Air fryer. Let's use our air fryer. It's a great tool to use in the kitchen. Perfect. We have roasted herb potatoes. They're perfect. So we're going to place these here with our veggie. We have our salmon. That's here. Salmon is really good with omegas. It's great. It's light. It's flaky. You don't feel so full. And it's a perfect dinner for a romantic evening. So, not only do you have a date night, but you have a good night where you've prepared great food. You know who prepared it. You know what's in it. That makes for the perfect date. Okay. Let's see what we got here. We have our company that's in the kitchen with us, who's going to taste our food. So we have salmon. We have roasted vegetables. Salmon. We have roasted potatoes. A little bit of salmon still we're going to cut. Look how flaky this salmon is. I'm telling y'all, the key to this is going to be marinating this a little bit with a little bit of salt to pull that water out. And don't forget about one of our new gadgets that we use too, which is our indoor grill. It cooks up perfectly. Any type of meal that you have, it cooks up perfectly. Okay, here we are. Delicious. It's hot. Delicious.
No, the broccoli is good.
Perfect.